Hey everybody, Garry Adelman, American Battlefield Trust, on yet another battlefield, and here to talk to you about another opportunity. It won't just be me either. We've got 4 tracks on 3 battlefields that we have an opportunity to preserve. Let's start right at the beginning, at least with the first major land battle of the Civil War, Bull Run or Manassas. This is July of 1861, of course, and you know what happens in that battle. It goes very well for the Confederates, but also you have a name being made. In this case, Stonewall Jackson. There's no doubt that he is named Stonewall within one day of that battle. It started to stick. And then, of course, after the Battle of Bull Run or Manassas, you have a mighty Union Army the following March and April moving down to the Virginia Peninsula. There will be fighting on the peninsula. We're talking about a whole lot of fights. A siege at Yorktown, some fighting at Williamsburg we're about to talk about as well. And then, of course, that gives way to the 7 days. Robert E. Lee is in command. He's making a name for himself, I would say, starting what many would call a winning streak. And at that point, you have Robert E. Lee at least pushing the Union away from Richmond. He starts to move his way northward. The Confederates win at Cedar Mountain. That brings them back to Manassas for the Second Battle of Manassas, or Second Manassas. Now, this whole time, both on the peninsula, 7 days, you have James Longstreet starting to make a name for himself. And then he starts sort of kicking off what his reputation doesn't support, but what he does very well is large offensive maneuvers. I'm thinking about his 30,000 soldiers who are attacking at Second Manassas, and they're going right over the land that we have the opportunity to preserve at that battlefield. He's going to double up on that with one of the larger attacks of the Civil War at Chickamauga, certainly the most fortuitous attack of the Civil War, at least large-scale one, if you ask me, breaking through at the Brotherton Farm. And then he's going to do it again at Williamsburg. He's got 3 of the largest attacks of the Civil War, and he'll eventually be known as somebody who can be trusted to do this sort of work, okay? So that's for those 2 Manassas opportunities. To hear a little bit more about Williamsburg, let's turn it over to my colleague Kate down there.
Thanks, Garry. Kate here in Williamsburg. I am at the intersection of 2 historic roads, which form the boundaries of the land that we are preserving here to complete the historic triangle of land here associated with the Battle of Williamsburg on May 5th, 1862. You have Winfield Scott Hancock, who emerges here as the superb. Of course, Fightin' Joe Hooker earns his moniker here too, as he is leading his men not far from here in the Bloody Ravine. But you know what? I really like this story because this land once saw my favorite Civil War veteran, Jack, the dog mascot of the 102nd Pennsylvania, fights here too. So on behalf of Jack and myself here in Williamsburg, back to you, Garry.
Hey, thanks, Kate. Let me just wrap this thing up. We have 4 different tracks on 3 battlefields, more than 27 acres, and a 34-to-1 match. Every dollar you're able to help with here is going to be multiplied by 34. I think you've heard of all these battles and battlefields before. We really hope you can get involved. Click the link associated with this post, and we really appreciate all you do for battlefield preservation and education.
Hello, this is Trace Atkins. Get inspired at battlefields.org.